Welcome back to the Softest Fantasy Football Show. It is Wednesday, August 9th, and I am here with Corbin, and I'm Calvin. I'm going to go through the top 12 quarterbacks this year that we have.
I like your sign.
Yeah, thank you. I did that just for you.
Nice. Cute.
Yeah. It'll hopefully just bring in energy that the Falcons are going to do well.
Doubt it.
All right,
They need it.
I'm gonna go through some news real quick. Just quick. Some of it I want to talk about, but not, a lot of it not really. But Kadarius Toney and Isaiah Pacheco expected to be ready for Week 1. That's good news for that team. KJ Osborne is listed as number 2 receiver for the Vikings. So that was something I wanted to talk about. So they don't have Jordan Addison as number 2 at early listings on the roster.
Yeah. So I saw that too, which is nice because I'm like, he drops in drafts because of that news, which is, I'm doing some long round best ball drafts right now, and he's now getting drafted closer to Quentin Johnston than he was before, where he was kind of a whole round earlier, maybe about the same time as Gabe Davis. So I think there's a couple of reasons that teams do this. Some coaches will refuse, they're old school. They will not put a rookie over somebody who's been a starter if that guy's still a starter. So to not offend anybody, they will make sure they're further down the depth chart when they release them because, wide receivers are typically divas, and it is something that affects the locker room. KJ Osborne would get teased if Addison was lifted above him, but KJ Osborne's been there, and KJ Osborne's good. So there is that chance that he is that. But I think they're going to run 3 wide receiver sets. So it's doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think they don't know
those depth charts are for the news, not for the team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. The last news is James Cook has been seeing most of the reps in training camp, so Damian Harris is not in the running for the top spot, which we kind of knew was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll get goal line work, which kind of sucks for James Cook. But
right. Yeah, I think because the Buffalo Bills haven't had somebody who's the goal line guy in a while. So that goal line guy was always Josh Allen. So I think Damian Harris can be a starting running back, maybe in the running back 3 range, where you throw him in and you hope he gets a touchdown, and then he's going to get 12 points for the day type of thing. And then every once in a while he's going to have a 2-touchdown game. I think it's bad for Josh Allen's stats overall, though.
Yeah. It might be. If Damian Harris, will be doing that or not. Who knows? Ow. All right.
Yep.
So we're going to start from... Do you have something?
Well, I got an update, too. Yeah, I was texting Brock Purdy yesterday, and he cued me into something that he's been kind of hiding in plain sight. So he told me, he's like, hey, I've actually been staying at Tom Brady's house, that he has in San Francisco, with his parents. And they actually offered to sell him Tom Brady's football soul. So he bought it, especially because he's got several of the same letters, RDY. So they were good with it. Everybody was good with it. So, yeah, he's pretty excited about how this year's going to go now after that transaction. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited after hearing that.
Yep. Yeah, so now your San Francisco 1 overall isn't so far-fetched.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just need to hear some Falcon news next, and I'll be a happy boy.
I need to get a water for my throat.
Uh, so we are gonna go through 12, 12 quarterbacks, and we're gonna start from our 12th spot and go down to our ninth spot today, and then tomorrow will be the other four, and then the next day will be the top four quarterbacks.
Okay.
All right. Did you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Um. Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. So at my 12th spot, I have Dak Prescott as QB 12 this year.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
I came to the conclusion because I looked at their offensive line, which is good this year, moved up 6 spots. Their running back room isn't that much. It's Tony Pollard, and I don't even know. It's like, does Tony Pollard even catch that many passes? I can't remember.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's a pass
Both him
catcher.
and Zeke were good pass catching running backs. Yep.
So that helps Dak be a better quarterback with receptions and possibly getting extra yards on a scramble throw or whatever. And then he's got 3 good wide receivers. His wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb, not Tony Pollard, Michael Gallup, and Brandon Cooks. So, right, is it Brandon Cooks? Yeah. So I think they could be a good team this year. And Dak's a decent quarterback. I wouldn't say he's an incredible quarterback, but he has a very good team that he's playing on, and I think he could be a top 12 quarterback this year.
Yep. So very interestingly, I also put him as my 12th quarterback.
Oh wow.
So, offensive line is always big for me. They improved this year, so their projected ranking is 6th for an offensive line. And then, I capture kind of what the top 2 quarterbacks did last year. So technically Brandon Cooks is his quarterback 2, which I know a lot of people hear Brandon Cooks and they're like, oh, super old, been in the NFL for forever. But has always been a producer, when he's healthy. And he's actually only 29. So he's in the Diggs, Devontae Adams range where, he's still going to be productive, and he's a good wide receiver. So, yeah, last year he was quarterback 19, but he only played 12 games.
Yeah.
And I so they have Tony Pollard, who's a good, I think of him as less of a bowling ball like Zeke was, more of like a skill finesse, more on that side of running back things. So I think that that's going to open up for Dak to have more rushing touchdowns, where Tony Pollard's going to run kind of like an HB wheel or something, where he'll run out to the side, Dak can throw it to him, get that touchdown. He's also got CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, and then Jake Ferguson is his rookie tight end this year, but he is supposed to be pretty phenomenal as far as tight ends go. So he's got a lot of touchdown, short yardage opportunity, and I think they're going to be, they're going to be a good offense this year and play some easier teams, and it's going to be, I like your pick. I matched it.
Nice. Yeah. So we're going on to 11 then, since we matched.
Yep.
So my 11th quarterback is Geno Smith. Similar reasoning besides offensive line. I don't know where they rank in offensive line.
I will tell you right now, 30th.
Yeah. So that's not great. But
nope, not even close.
But Geno Smith last year, where is he? Last year, I think he finished 5th overall.
Yeah, he was
last
5th.
year, which is
5th overall.
Crazy.
Yep.
So him finishing 11th, I don't think's that insane, especially when a lot of other people have him in the top 10 as a quarterback this year.
Right.
He's got great wide receivers in DK Metcalf and uh, Tyler Lockett,
Oh,
and
yep.
his running backs are pretty good if they're healthy, and they have a good rookie running back, and they also have, yeah, that's it. They don't have a good or offensive line, but they do have they do have a good offense. So
Yeah. So yes, I think so. Their team, I had a hard time placing them, and I kind of went, all over the place with. So their offensive line really crushed where I put Seattle. I have him, Geno Smith, ranked 10th because like so DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, like you mentioned them, but they also have Jackson Smith and Jigba, who
yeah, that's what I couldn't remember.
some people think might be the best rookie wide receiver this year, and he's a down the field guy too. Um, so they're just going to be able to burn people in every way you can think down the field. Then they have two running backs that, health obviously being a concern, are awesome. So they can ground and pound that. And then Noah Fant is healthy this year, supposedly going in nothing existing. And
Yep.
so, he's kind of hitting that stride of he was supposed to be a tight end phenom, got injured, was on a bad team. Now he's 2 years past that stuff. This might be his breakout year. And so,
I thought he was way older than 25. So I did.
right. Yeah, no. He's young, but
Yeah.
but people have been talking about him. That's why I think people think he's older.
Yeah.
Is he's always had this hype around him when he was on Denver, and then he got traded, and then he got hurt, and then so this could be his tight end breakout season. And I don't mean like he's going to be a top 5 tight end. I don't think that's in the realm, but is he going to be able to be started? I think so. So yeah, no, I like Geno Smith. Um, I've got him at 10th, so you got him at 11th.
Yeah.
We're close on those two. The only other thing that I wish he just doesn't do very much is he ran for 366 yards, which is a weird number. So most guys are under 200 or 700 and above. So he falls into this range of like I can run, but I don't, And
Yeah.
so I just wish he'd run a little more. If he ran like 100 more yards in the year, there just adds that much more upside.
I wonder if like aged quarterbacks like 30 plus that were running quarterbacks just run less like that, like Cam Newton or someone like that when they get older.
Well, Cam Newton never stopped running a bunch. You know, and he's 32. Let's see. No, he never. I mean, he didn't start a ton, but like 2013 and 2014 when he was starting for the Jets, he only ran for 366 yards and 238. Like he's in this weird. He doesn't choose to run, but he can because that's like those are decent numbers. Like those aren't like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, can't run numbers.
Yeah.
They're hey, I can, you know. So I'd like to see him get a little closer to like Russell Wilson, where Russell Wilson would run for a 50-yard dash
Oh,
type
yeah.
of
What
thing
what
every
did
once
he
in a while.
what did he run last year?
Russell Wilson,
Yeah, because that'd be a good
he
comparison.
ran 277 yards.
Yeah. So I think that's just older, not as fast quarterbacks just don't run that much. But yeah, maybe he'll
Yeah.
run more. But
Well, okay, so when he was 32, which was 3 years ago, um, he ran for 500 yards.
okay.
That's kind of what I'm looking for. And then periodically he'd run. So he'd go 500, 500, 500. He had a season where he ran 800. But 500 would be kind of my sweet spot for just run a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see. Yep. So So he's my 10th. So I'll do my 11th. I just move him over for your. So we are tracking everything. So my 11th is Justin Fields. So, and he's only 11th because of how well he did, the last 7 games of the season or whatever, 8 games. I'm nervous that he is Lamar Jackson, but way worse at passing the ball, and that's not a great offense. They have DJ Moore now, which I'm hopeful for, but it could it could be really bad. They're talking about him running less as a plan, and he's talking about running less because he's like, I gotta have longevity, and it's like, you want to sit on somebody's bench forever because that's kind of the only thing you're good at.
Well, the passes though, they have to go up. Like,
no, I know they do, but if they go up there, that's problematic because every time he passes it is another time that he didn't run. That's really where his value was. But I don't want to be so wrong, he's been the hardest for me to deal with. He's the only reason I had them in my top 15 offenses, because he could be QB5 on the year. He's definitely got that potential. He could be QB1 potentially.
Yeah, he was QB6 last year.
Right. And he was terrible in the beginning of the year. So, but he makes me nervous. That type of quarterback is like, hey, he sprained his ankle and he's out for 6 weeks, and then he's also not the same when he comes back, and then he's 18th ranked quarterback. So
yeah,
I don't like people who draft him as their number one. You definitely need to draft 2 quarterbacks then. You can't just go one quarterback, one hero quarterback, and then hope to grab somebody for their bye week type of guy. I think you need to plan on spending 2 draft picks on quarterbacks if you're picking him in a redraft 12 team. Yeah.
So I have him way lower on my, down on my list. I don't know if you just want to do that next time because he's in my
He's in your maybes. Well, what do you have him as, and I'll put him there.
No, he's in my 8th through 5th area. So he's.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have him. I have him 7th.
Yep. Okay.
So I don't know if you want to, if I just talk about him next time or just talk about him now, but
you can talk about him now, and then
right.
we'll brief over them when we do our next 6.
Okay. So I just think that I get your points, but I think that his wide receiver room has gotten better with having DJ Moore, and I think DJ Moore will finally have a good quarterback, hopefully, with a whole off season of working together. Because I don't know, it's tough to say he's gonna be bad at passing when he averaged 20 passes a game, which is terribly low for a quarterback that started and played the whole time. So
right.
It's tough to say that he's bad at throwing when he doesn't throw it that much, but it's also tough to say he's going to be good at throwing as well, which I get. But yeah, I think that his running's not going to go down that much, but I think he's going to have more pass attempts, and I think that their offense is just going to have to be less run heavy, and I think that'll just make him be able to run more when he doesn't have a pass attempt, and then they're going to be passing the ball more. So I think he has a very high potential to be scoring more.
I mean, their offensive line got worse.
That is the other thing. Yeah.
They have Khalil Herbert listed as their number 1 running back right now.
Yeah, who do they have last year? They had
Montgomery.
Yeah, who was good last year for them.
Right. So yeah, I just there's a lot of things about this team that makes me nervous. Plus, it's the Bears.
Yeah.
They love to be bad, kind of similarly to Atlanta. You know, I think of it like this. I don't know that he's any better than Mitchell Trubisky as a quarterback. Um, and Mitchell Trubisky could run, and then they tried to not have him run as much. And then now Mitchell Trubisky is like, I don't even know where he's at
Yeah.
team wise.
They have like young DJ. They have young wide receivers. Like DJ Moore's only 26. Darnell Mooney's 25. Chase Claypool, who knows? Like he could be just bad again, but maybe not. He could be like a Gabe Davis type down the field catching. And then
Yeah,
they have Cole Kmet, who's supposed to be an incredible tight end that got $80 million contract with them. So they
right.
must believe in him and want to utilize him. So that's another, I think, plus for their offense is them
Yeah,
seeing Cole Kmet as somebody they want to use. So
yep,
that's why I have him
yeah,
higher. I just think he has the potential, and he was sixth last year, so I like maybe he'll go. You have him in your top 12, so he's still gonna be a good
yeah,
quarterback.
yeah. I have him. I have him. I have him 11. I don't see anything like he's got DJ Moore. I don't see that as an upgrade for his fantasy value. Like even if he passes 10 more times a game, that means he rushes 10 less times a game because that would get him up to 30 passes, let's say, which would be like your standard quarterback throwing. So if he rushes 10 times less per game, and that's even if it's 50 less yards per game, you know, you're talking about, I don't know that he's going to make that up in air yards, to capture points as a quarterback versus the rushing. Like the rushing's got to go down if the passing goes up.
Well,
I don't think.
he only had 8 touchdowns last year in 17
No, I
games.
know. Right, all of his stuff was yards. I mean, he had so many yards. Uh, that's what I'm fearful of. So you're getting zero point 0.1 points for 10 throwing yards as a quarterback,
Yeah.
right? Versus 1 point as a running back. So it brings down his possibility of getting great points.
See, so he was sixth. So who's fifth? Do you know who's fifth was? Is it Geno
Who
Smith?
was fifth? Fifth was Geno Smith. Yeah,
Okay, if you just look at he didn't run a lot, right? And then he had,
right. He had 4,000 passing yards, double what Justin Field had.
yeah, and then how many he had 30
He had 30
touchdowns.
passing touchdowns, and Justin Field only had 17. So,
Yeah,
like, I think if you have his attempts, Geno Smith's attempts was 572, Justin Fields was 318. So, if you doubled Justin Fields' attempts, he would be the second, or he would have been fourth most throwing quarterback last year.
yeah,
And let's just double everything. He would have had 34 touchdowns, so uh, he'd be third in touchdowns. But then let's double his interceptions because he had 11 interceptions. So,
yeah,
but his completion percentage was like it's 60%. Um, but then you have to take down his running attempts. His running attempts was at 160. So, if you're adding 300 passes attempts, even let's say you cut it in half. I just there's not a lot of upside if the running goes down, but the passes go up. And I don't think their offense is one that's going to be able to like. I don't want to say double their production, but let's say like 1.5x their production from last year to this year. I just don't see where their team is that much better to be able to do that.
yeah. I'm looking at so David Montgomery last year had 201 rushing attempts. So I think that number is going to go down for their running back room.
For their running back room.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's not like that's not super high for a starter.
Well, how did
I don't
where'd all their plays go? Are they just not on offense that much?
right. Well, he ran the ball a ton.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess that's true.
He did. So when he runs, that's where all his value came from. So like, you know, you go extreme with the big boys last year. You got Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, and Nick Chubb all ran 300 plus times last year. But then even let's see, I'll drop down. So what'd you say? He ran for 201. So he was 22nd in rush attempts last year.
Yeah.
So that's Khalil Herbert will probably be like in that range of. I don't think they're gonna rush even less than that.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the room is to get more offense. That's all.
Yeah, they're. Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
The only thing, I mean, the what I will say is he has the opportunity to get better in the passing. So it's all on him, right? If he makes the leap in skill and ability and decision making, then you're absolutely right. Then he could be QB1 on the year, because he has the ability to run. But then he's kind of learned like, oh hey, now I kind of understand how these defenses are, and I studied my ass off, and so now I can totally land these passes to DJ Moore because I know what the defense is doing. But I also run heavy because that keeps the defense up a little bit. So then that gives me more opportunity to do this. If he takes that leap, then awesome. Like then you're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
I
You should
think
be way up there.
people are comparing him to Jalen Hurts. Like they're very similar. If he can get to the passing level of Jalen Hurts.
Well, Jalen Hurts has a cannon though, and Justin Fields doesn't. But
Yeah.
but I mean, that's like you're asking for somebody to be maybe the best fantasy player that we've ever seen. Um, yeah, Jalen Hurts was ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
he only played 15 games and was quarterback 3.
I think like 3 years ago or whatever when he played a couple games and then next year people were similar boat to Justin Fields of drafting him in the like middle area thinking he's going to make this leap and he did.
Yeah, well, right, because he played. So 2020 was his rookie year, and he wasn't great, but that was also a really bad team. And
Yeah.
then they made the AJ Brown trade, and then they got Deontay, not Smith. What's his
Devonta
name?
Smith.
Yeah, Devonta Smith, right? So then he leaked, but same thing. He only played 15 games in 2021, and then he got 312 fantasy points. So
And
yeah,
he didn't start till 14th week in his rookie year.
right. In 2020, he only started his 4th game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, he only started 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, that would be incredible. He is that guy. I think the Eagles are just a better organization too. So just
That is
a
true.
little
Yeah.
bit, and their offensive line was first in 2022. It was awesome in 2021. It's going to be awesome again this year. But anyways, that's enough about Justin Fields. Who you got next
I have Tua Tagovailoa at my 10th spot.
in your 10 spot?
Yep.
Okay,
Do you
talk to me
have him in
about
your
that.
top 12?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So,
He's in your 10th spot.
yeah, yes. Yep. Other rankings I've seen him in, they have him outside of the top 10, which is surprising to me. But
Really?
I think that's all just because of fear of him
What
not
was
playing the
your
whole season.
who was your 11th pick?
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, so I have Tua at 10th. I think I would have him higher if there wasn't the he could just die and not play football again anytime he gets hit this season. But
Yeah.
maybe he gets like a super duper helmet and nobody has to worry about that anymore. But that's the only scary thing. His wide receivers are incredible, and that's pretty much it. Is just he has two of the best wide receivers right now, and he just needs to pass them the ball, and he's going to be a incredible quarterback this year.
Right. Well, he absolutely has the two best wide receivers because so last year, let's see, where do I have him? I've got him. He's my fifth running back this year.
Quarterback.
Is where I have him ranked. Quarterback, yeah. So just like stats wise, so he didn't play several games, right, which really hurt Jalen Waddle. His production went down in those games that he wasn't in. But while that it was the case, that him and Tyreek Hill in PPR scored 412 points combined, right? Against like the next best was Philadelphia. You had Brown and Smith that got 371 points. And then I'd say probably the next best was, oh, no, Seattle wasn't that high. Oh, Buffalo. Diggs and what's his name?
Davis.
Gabe Davis.
Which
Yep.
is
And then
basically
Minnesota.
Diggs. Yeah.
Right. So KJ Osborne and well, it wasn't. I mean, you say that, but like Gabe Davis still had like 110 points on the season. Regardless, they have to pass the ball. Their running backs are not that good on Miami.
No.
The tight end, they got to downgrade. You know, Durham Smith is their starter supposedly.
Yeah.
You know, maybe A-Chain is going to be somebody who can produce. You know, he's a rookie, so that is always like an unknown in how they kind of convert to the NFL. Apparently, he's a really good fit for the type of offense that they run, which would be nice because they didn't have that last year. And then their offense did get a little bit better. I mean, offensive line. But yeah, I'm pretty high on him and hopeful because I think they're going to be I don't think they're going to be as competitive of a team this year with that kind of talent as wide receivers, so that they're going to be chucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just throwing out the possible, like, almost thinking about retiring last year. You think that,
Yeah.
like, their backup, well, they have Mike White as their backup, so you're just thinking Tua's playing the whole time.
Yeah, I think Tua's playing the whole time. I think that, he played 13 games and had 230 fantasy points on the year. And of those 13 games, really 2 of them should be kind of excluded because, he had actually 3 of them were barely played essentially.
After the bye week, he was 18, 17, 17, 13, 16 as a quarterback ranking.
Right. But he got week 4 he got hurt and only had 14 attempts. That sort of thing. I don't like to count against somebody. And then obviously he missed several games, but he's really accurate and he's got 2 super talented wide receivers that are uncoverable. Right. I mean, so yeah, but kind of same boat it could go either way. They're one injury away from like all three of them being scary. As far as
Yeah.
like, am I grabbing these guys or not? But okay, so you had them 10th. So who do you got in there? Oh, I guess I need to do my 10th,
Yep.
which is I have Lamar Jackson ranked 10th.
Okay.
So, and the reason I have Lamar Jackson ranked 10th is because Odell Beckham Jr. is listed as their starting wide receiver one on their depth chart,
Yeah.
followed by Zay Flowers, who's a rookie, followed by Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, I have him. I have him 8th, so close to you,
Eighth. Okay, so not too far from me.
which is
Um,
way lower than a lot of people have him.
right, they're looking at like, hey, last year, in his first, I think it was his first 6 games. Let me just pull his stats up real quick.
First 3 were good.
His first 3 were incredible, and then the I think he starts to come down to earth. What happened to him?
I don't remember anything
Well,
happening on their team. Oh, Mark Andrews got hurt. Maybe that was
yeah,
it.
Mark Andrews got hurt. But I think he was dealing on and off with injury, and then obviously in Game 13 he's out, and but he was starting to pick it back up. I want to say he like twisted his ankle or something in week 4, because you also have like his rushing starts to go down there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not. He's hard to gauge when he's healthy, and you know their offensive line is still awesome. You know they have a great run scheme. They have a new offensive coordinator this year. Again though, they're putting out the like he's going to run less stuff, which always concerns me. That's why I have him. You know, that's why I have him where I have him. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
when
mean
he's
I've got him
healthy,
10.
he does great. But the last 2 years, he's been hurt and missed like
Right,
4 or 5 games.
right, and like Gus Edwards is going to start the year for him probably. You don't know if J.K. Dobbins is going to be able to be back to play, but he's supposed to be great. They signed Melvin Gordon. He's talented at least to where he can be a dump off running back and kind of expand their running game. But again, I'm nervous about him, so I have him drop pretty low. Who do you have at? Who do you have
What
left?
are
You
we?
need to do your.
Well, let's just stop there. We're at over 35 minutes, so we can pick up
Okay.
tomorrow at
Yep.
number 9. So that
Okay.
was our
Yeah,
top
you're.
12 through 10 quarterbacks.
Yep.
Is anything to close out, Corbin?
No.
Okay. You were just sitting there for way too long for that. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow with our next rankings of quarterbacks.